Sew friends, welcome to Sew Easy with Shelby and Gabbie. I'm your host, Kay Stewart. Thank you for coming back to my page. If you haven't done so, make sure you hit the subscribe button down there at the bottom so you don't miss any of the videos I'm going to be posting for you each week. Now, today I'm going to be doing a fur vest. I don't know about you or if you've worked with fur before, but I'm going to tell you one thing that I do know about fur. It's a mess. So make sure that you have a good vacuum cleaner to vacuum up all the fur sheds that's going to happen when we're doing our cutting. Today I'm going to be using Butterick pattern 6762, and we're actually going to do this vest right here, which is vest number A. And it has a zipper, so the first thing you want to do is you want to look at the back of your pattern and make sure you have everything that you need before you get started your project. Today I'm going to need the fur, which I have here, and I'm using this brown bear-like fur. Right now it's laying down flat, so once I get it done, I'm going to actually take a little brush and brush it up so that the fur can really come out. You're going to need a lining for this jacket, of course. I'm using this purplish blue material right here. It's almost like a suede type material, but it has a lot of stretch to it. And I'm going to use this for the inside, and that way it gives it a pop of color when you open up your jacket. You're also going to need a zipper. You're going to need an outside zipper, a separating zipper, like this, so that when you open up your coat, you can open it all the way up. So you definitely need a zipper. This is a 14 inch. Yeah, so you need a 14 inch. I think it says you need a 12 inch on the 12 or 13 inch on your pattern. Always get a little longer. It's always better to have it a little longer. You can cut it off at the top than not have enough. So I have a 14 inch separating zipper, which I'm using here. And you're also going to need some string, and I'm using blue to coordinate with the fabric on the inside. Now, this pattern is really, really simple. Again, it's Butterick 6762. But let me tell you about this pattern. I bought this pattern in 2007. So I don't even know if they still make this pattern anymore. But that's how long you can keep your patterns for. I have a drawer for, I just actually went through them today and I got them all organized by numbers. Now that I know which I have. But again, this is Butterick 6762, just in case you do have it. And this is a really easy project. It only has two pattern pieces that we're going to be working with today. That is your front pattern piece here. You're going to need two of this out of the fabric and two of it out of your lining. And then you have your back piece. You're going to need one of this out of your lining and one of this out of your fabric. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut these pieces out. And I'm going to come back and show you what's next. Okay, so when you're dealing with fur, the first thing I did was I have my fur right here, and I have them folded. I have it folded in half right here on the inside. That way when we're cutting, it's easier to cut the inside without all that fur. I'm going to show you what to do once you cut it. And see, as you can see here, see how this is like shedding off a little bit? Not a lot, right? But it will shed. But I'm going to show you how we're going to have a little edge so when we sew it, we can go ready to get rid of those pieces. Now, so I have my back piece, and it does say you can lay it out flat, or I'm going to put mine on the center fold. This is the center back right here, which I have on the fold line. And I'm going to take my scissors, and I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. Remember, when you're cutting out, you want to make sure that you don't forget your notches on your pattern. You want to cut those out because that's going to be important to you later. And you see I'm cutting it. Make sure you have some really sharp scissors. These are my favorite pair of scissors. They can cut through anything. And I have just some weights. These are just some weights I got from Home Depot. And I'm just cutting through. Cutting piece out. This is the back piece. And again, don't forget, you want to cut out your notches. This one. I'm going through. notch here. And I also have one over here. One there. I'm going to slide this over so you can see. Now, I have the back piece cut out. Now remember, you have to cut one of these for your back piece because you want to make sure you have a whole piece for your back. Slide that out the way. So now you can see I've cut out the back piece. There's the back piece right there. There's my back piece. And what I like to do is I always do this just to make sure that I get all the notches. Because again, those notches are important when you're coming, when you have to put on your lining with it. So I'm just put this out like this. Just like that. Put me a paperweight, a weight down. Like that. And I'm going to go and start cutting my notches. Like I said, this is important. You're going to be looking for these notches later. And now I'm going to go on to the next piece. So I have my back piece done. I'm going to fold this back in half like that. My notches are here at the top. Notches are there. My notches are on the side. And then I'm going to go on to the next piece. Next piece are our two pieces here. Now we have to cut two of these. We have to cut two of those right here. Two of these on the fur. So again, we have everything lined up. I'm going to move this over to the edge because I won't have to worry about cutting that edge now. I'm going to put my paperweight down. And I'm electing to cut the fur first because remember I told you it's messy. It's going to get everywhere. So if you go ahead and get this out the way first, then you can wipe up everything and you can put down your lining and cut those out. You can also use your rotary cutter. I'm not using mine because I just don't want that fur all over the place. But, and again, these scissors are sharp enough to get through both pals. On the floor. I'm going to cut it here. I am holding it down, just applying a little bit of pressure to make sure I get. And I'm cutting my notches. Cutting my notches. One across the shoulders. The side cut really easy. I got a feeling I only cut one piece. Oh, no, I cut them both. Okay, so now I have my two front pieces. And again, we want to make sure you get your notches cut because those are important. I'll have it on that side. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to move these to the side as well. Now, I have enough fur, plenty of fur left over. I've decided to make a muff to go along with my vest. I may even do a hat later, but right now I'm going to do a muff. So what I did was I took some paper, as you can see, cut one of the fabric, cut one of the lining. This is 8.5 by 11, so it's basically a piece of paper. I'm going to put it on the fold, and I'm going to go ahead and cut out the muff. And I really do have like enough material to make some type of hat or anything, but again, I'm going to start with the muff. So we're going to take our scissors and cut straight across there. And I want to use the same lining I'm using for the inside of my. Okay, so now that I've cut out my pieces for my muff, you're going to have two pieces like this. As you can see, it's a fur as well. And what we're going to do is, once we're going to pin these two together, and I'm going to sew straight across the top, straight across the bottom. I'm going to add the lining in there. We're going to fold it over, and then when you open it up, you're going to have this piece like this, where you can lay your hands inside for your muff. Okay, next we're going to cut out the lining. And I told you I'm using this really nice, pretty bluish, purplish color. And this was actually some leftover material I had when I made a dress or something. I'm not sure what I made it of. But again, I just thought that this would be a really nice pop of color on the inside of my jacket. So that's why I'm using it. I'm going to use my rotary cutter for this one. And we're just going to cut out the pieces the same way we did just a few minutes ago. But this time we aren't using scissors. And there's no messy fur. It is just the lining that I'm using. If you haven't experimented with the rotary cutter, you want to go and get one. It makes life so easy when you can just go through here like this. Trace, and it cuts it out for you. I love my rotary cutters. You want to make sure you stay on top of your blade though, because if your blade is not sharp, it will show up. You'll have pieces, you have to go back and do those pieces. Now I'm going to do this one because, again, I only need two of this. I did the back piece on the fold because you only need one of those. And up here. A little piece right there. Okay, so remember, you want to make sure you get all your notches cut. And I'm going to go through here now, cut out my notches because those are important. Cutting out my notches. Piece of material there. Cut out your notches. There's two notches there. And the same thing for the other side. Cut out all your notches. And I also have to do my muff. So let me grab that. So I have two of my lining for this piece, like the instructions told me. And basically what's going to happen is we're going to make two vests, and then we're going to put them together. So here's the insides, which is going to be the actual piece that you see. I'm going to throw this to the side. And then here's the back piece, which I did on the fold. And this is, like I say, it's a really simple piece. There's only 4 pieces that you're really going to be dealing with. Here's the back side that you're going to see. I'll move that out the way, and then I'm going to cut out the piece for the muff, because that is just as important. Because like I said, I want my muff to have the same lining on the inside as it does for the vest. So move that down like that. This is why it's important never to throw your scrap pieces away, because you never know what you can do with them. So I'm just lining this up like this. Put a couple of weights on it. And we're cutting 2 pieces of this as well. Got my rotary cutter. Throw that down there in my scrap pile. And then I'm going to do the bottom of this. Okay. I always want to make sure this. I love these rotary cutters, but I have my nieces that come in and I show them how to sew. So you want to make sure that you always use your safety feature. Now the safety feature is not on there, but every time I'm finished, I do that. That way, no one can come and get cut or get hurt on that. But I also have my pieces for my muff on my fur. That's the main inside that you're gonna see. Nice, that bluish purple. It's gonna be so nice. And on to the next thing. Okay, so the next step is you want to grab your brush. I'm using my little dimming brush here. And we're going to take these. I've done this one already, so I'm going to do this one. We're going to take our fur, any fur that you're dealing with, and you want to brush away from where you're going to actually be sewing. So we're going to brush away from the edges. And that's what I'm doing here. You can see I'm just taking and I'm brushing it away. Because we want to get a nice, clean, smooth line where we want to have to sew. And also what that does is it's taking away all that extra shed hair. I do it all the way around on the edges. I brush away from the edges. The whole thing. Even if you're not sewing there right now, still do it and have it out the way. That way you got rid of all of that excess hair. Again, brush it. Now this one is from the top. Brushing it. Brushing it. I'm going to do the middle right here. Brush it away. And as you can see, now my nape is looking really, it's looking like a bird now, isn't it? Okay. But anywho, the reason I did all of this is because we're going to attach the zipper. And the way we're going to attach the zipper is we're going to attach it backwards. See that? Look at all that hair that came out. And you just pop it out. And you go on to the next side. But now you can actually sew. Now you have a clean line. You can see. Now you have a nice clean line to sew. So we're going to take our zipper, separate the zipper, and we're going to turn it towards the inside of the jacket, just like this. So I'm going to get my pins. And I'm going to pin it just like this. I'm going to pin it down. And remember, you've already brushed it away. So one good thing about this is when you're doing a lining is you can actually get really close to your edge when you zipper. All the way down to the bottom. So when you finish, it should look like this. And you're probably wondering, why do I have the inside, why do I have the zipper inside? Because when you take your lining piece, which is here, this is the piece that we're going to use for the lining. Right here, we'll take this one. When you actually finish this, we're going to actually do this. This is what's going to happen. We're going to sew this all the way down again, all the way around here, just like that. So when we do that, what's going to happen is, once we flip this over, you're going to have your pieces like this. And then your zipper is going to be in the middle of your lining and your fur. So this is what it's going to look like when we're done. So let's go over to the sewing machine. So you want to get your other piece out. And again, we're going to do the same thing if you haven't done it already. Take your brush and you just want to brush away from the edges. That is going to take away all of that shed fur, and it's also going to give you a clean edge to sew with. Take it and hold it down. This one I've already kind of brushed, you can tell. And I'm going to do this side. And I'll brush all that fur towards the middle of whatever you're working with. Your coat, your jacket. I'm going to brush it in the middle, just like that. So all the hair is facing the middle now and away from the edges. See that? Shed. But now it won't shed all over you. So, and then you're going to take the second zipper and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to pin it down facing the inside towards the middle of your thing. Take your pins, pin it down. Because we're going to do the same thing. Once we attach the lining to it, it's going to be between, the zipper will end up being between the lining and the fur. And go all the way down. And you want to make sure that you got these things lined up right, because you don't want your zippers not to match. So you want to make sure that if you have something hanging off up here, you should have the same amount hanging off up here on this side. So once you do this, we're going to take it over to your sewing machine. You're going to sew it straight down like that. We're going to sew it straight down, and then I'll come back and show you what's next. Here's your next step. Okay, right now this is your vest. This should be your vest right here. You've done the sides and you've done the shoulders. Your zipper's already attached. This is what you should be looking like. Like this. Perfect, right? I went ahead and did my lining as I instructed you to do as well. So here's your lining. This is what your lining looks like. Looks like this. Just like that. So, let me show you what we're going to do next. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to attach this lining to this vest so that when you open it up, you're going to see this on the inside and you're going to have this on the outside. So the first thing we're going to do is this. We are going to flip the vest wrong side out. Just like this. Move this out the way for a second. So you take your vest wrong side out, just like this. You're going to open it up. Get your vest and lay it down inside. So actually you have the right side together, but you're going to have your wrong side showing right now on your vest. So we're tucking it inside. Let me do that one more time. Take your vest, your lining. Take your lining and lay it down like this so that it's wrong side facing. Sorry. So that the wrong side is facing. You're going to open it up like that. And you're going to take your vest and you're going to lay it down inside of it. Just like that. Then we're going to act like it's a present. And you're going to wrap it inside of itself. See that? Going to wrap it just like this. Same thing with the other side. Take it in there. We're going to wrap it in. Just like this. We're going to take our pins. We'll get our pins out. Turn it this way so you can see it. We'll get our pins. And I'm going to start right here on the edge. You're going to take your pin and you're going to pin these two together. Just like this. Pin it. And you're going to pin all the way down past that zipper that I was talking about earlier. Going past that. And you're going to go all the way to the bottom. Pin it. Very bottom. Just like that. Then you're going to go across the top here. You're going to put the seams together. Shoulder seams together. Take a pin. Pin it. Because you're going to sew all the way around the perimeter. Only where you see pins. If you don't see pins, you're not going to sew. So, going to keep going around. Just like this. Just like this. Go to the next seam. Put those two together. And pin it down. Now as you can see, I'm just pinning all the way around the perimeter of the neck. You can see I have pins everywhere. All the way down. And then like I said, and shortly you're going to see why I pin the zipper feet towards the middle of the vest. All the way down to the bottom. Now on the bottom, what we're going to do is Because right now, the only thing we don't have pinned is the bottom and then the sleeves. So we're going to take this and we're going to pin across the bottom, but we're going to leave a little opening so that we can pull our vest through. But we want to make sure we have a nice clean edge at the bottom too. There we go. All the way around. Match your seams up. And I always sew at the seams. We're going to leave an opening, but we're not going to do it at the seams. We're going to leave the opening a little on the side. So we're going to keep pinning. Keep pinning across. Like that. This is where I'm going to leave the opening at. So I'm going to leave that open. See that? There's no pins right there because this is where I'm going to pull my vest through. This is going to make more sense once I start doing it, but I'm going to just go ahead and finish and show you. But when you're on your machine, you want to make sure you do not sew all the way across the bottom or you won't be able to pull your vest through with your lining. Now, it's just a small vest. Again, you want to make sure you leave a hole, enough for you to get your hand inside. I can get my hand in there. So I'm going to take this over to the machine, and I'm actually going to start right here so I don't sew across there. I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to sew all the way across the perimeter of this jacket. Then I'm going to come back and show you the next step. Okay, I'm back, and I have sewn all the way around the perimeter of the vest. So right now, it looks like it's a blue vest. This is what you should be looking like. Let's get rid of some of these strings. Again, I did all the way around. We'll get rid of some of these strings and these big old pieces. And remember, there was a hole right here that you weren't supposed to sew big enough for you to get your hand in it. So, let me show you what we're going to do with that hole. We are going to start flipping this jacket inside out through this hole. Here we go. Pulling it through. Here we come. Coming. And the reason I did the hole so small, y'all know how I hate to hand sew. And I'm going to have to hand sew that little hole. So I wanted it to be small as possible. You can go and get your pointer if you want to make sure that you get that through. Looks like I have a hole. I have to hand sew that too. And at the bottom, I'll do the same thing. Poke it through. You're going to get it through there and nice and flat. Nice and flat right there. Let's take a little pin. So obviously I poked too hard. So I'm going to repair that. Stick a pin there to remind me. Okay. So I'm going to keep going all the way through. Let's get all sides. See how zipper is in one side, zipper in the middle. This is why we poked it towards the middle. I'm going to go all the way around. And see, now your edges are nice and smooth all the way around, everywhere. And I like to do this just like that. Kind of shake it out some. We also have the bottom, which is done. I'm going to poke up here around the shoulders. Look at that. Now, jacket. Nice and neat. And then when we find that little pee hole that we use to pull it through, you're just going to fold that under and you're going to hand stitch that right there so that it's nice and even with everything else. I'm going to put my pins here so I remember to go in and hand stitch it. There's my pins. There. Y'all know I'm lazy. I'll probably just take my sewing machine and go straight across. But I do recommend hand stitching. Now, we also have our sleeves. So that's the next thing that we need to work on. Getting our sleeves together. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my sleeve like this and I'm going to find the notches. Here's the notches. I'm going to put a pin in it. Like that. All the way around. Notch. And you put your notch in it. All the way around the sleeve hole. Gonna do the other sleeve the same way. Find your notches, line them up. Just like this. Like that. So I'm going back to the sewing machine. I'm going to sew right across this and I'm going to hand sew the bottom and voila, your vest is now complete. And voila, your vest is complete. And look at that pop of color. It's absolutely beautiful. Again, I cannot wait to rock this. I'm going to be making a muff to go with it. I haven't had a muff since I was little, but I just thought that that would be real fabulous. And someone on my Facebook group said, why don't you make a muff to go with it? And I said, you know what, you're right. And that's why I cut out the muff earlier to make it with it. Your zipper's in place. No more shedding because it's all done. But look at that. That vest is beautiful. I love that. I love that pop color. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take my tag where I have to hand sew it. I'm going to take my tag. And that's where I'm going to put my tag on the inside here. I'm going to put my tag right there on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and pin that down. So that when I go to hand sew this little hole, I'll just hand sew my tag on here as well. There you have it. I'll be right back. Okay, now we're on to the muff. And you're going to do the same thing we did before. You're going to brush all the fur towards the middle so that we can get rid of all of that shed hair and we can make sure that we have something nice and easy to sew with. Now the muff is going to be a little easier. So we're going to put the two pieces together like this. And we're going to pin at the tops and the bottoms. Like that. Pin it. Top, bottom. Top and bottom. We're going to leave the sides open right now because that's where we're going to put our hands in. So we have to leave the opening. But again, we're going to hit the tops and the bottoms here. Just like that. So once you have it pinned like this, you're going to take your go across sewing machine and you're going to sew straight across there and straight across there. Then you're going to do the same thing with your lining. Because when you put your hands inside your muff, you don't want it to be all rough on the inside from that material. So you're going to take it and you're going to sew across the top and the bottom just like you did with this. And you want to make sure you're doing right sides together because you want to feel the smoothness of the inside. So just like this. Again, you're going to take it to your sewing machine and you're going to sew straight across here and straight across there. And then I'll show you the next step. We're going to leave this one on the wrong side. This is our lining. And we're going to take it and we're going to put this on the inside just like this. Come all the way up to the top. You want to make sure that your seams are matching. We're going to do. Okay, so I'm back from the sewing machine and I've sewn straight across. Let me turn it around so you can see. This is when I put the muff inside the right way and the two right sides facing. As you can see, I've sewn straight across. Now what's going to happen is this is what we're going to do. This is now your muff with the lining. We're going to tuck that down inside like this. So what you have is a nice, I'm going to flip it back around so you can see. What you have now is your muff. It's sewn to your lining and it's nice and neat. See that? Nice and neat. So when you flip it over, only thing you're going to see is your fur. And you'll have that pop of color on the inside. Now, here's how you get the other side. First thing you're going to do is you're going to do this. You're going to straighten this out as much as possible. So you're going to have it nice and flat all the way to the end. You want to make sure it's like that. If you are looking at your muff on the inside like this, and you can't see any of your fur, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to move the inside out of the way, and I'm going to cut some off. So you want to grab your ruler, and you want to cut off about an inch or half an inch. Take a cutter, going straight across. Straight across. So now I've taken about half an inch off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push that fur right back through there. Like this. And now you can see the fur on the inside. The reason I did this is because I'm going to take this over to the sewing machine. I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to take this over to the sewing machine and I'm going to pin. I'm going to sew it straight across. But I'm going to pin it first. So you want to take it and you want to pin it all the way across, just like we did the top side. Now we're doing the bottom. But we're going to pin it all the way through. Because the reason I did that is when you finish sewing, when you put it on the inside of your muff, this is going to pull down some like this. As you can see, it's turning over. And then you're going to have two sides that look just alike. Nice and even and nice and neat. Again, cut off some so that you can see some of the fur on the inside. And then you're going to just push it up like that. Pin it. And you're going to take it over to your sewing machine and sew straight across. Just like this. Pin it nice and neat. Pin it like this. just like that. And then take it over to the sewing machine and sew straight across. And I'll come back and I'll show you the finished product of your muff. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. We're all done now. I can't wait to rock this vest and my muff. Looking forward to it. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you hit subscribe so you don't miss any other videos. And I will see you soon.